Okay people, it's finally happened. I'm making a video to review a product where after using it for a little while, my entire perception of that product was changed around. Usually, I have a pretty good eye for what's going to work and what's not going to work as far as these products go, but I'm going to say this time I was wrong. This right here, this is the EDC belt from Core. And right up to the point that I left the house wearing it for the first time, I had kind of a negative outlook on it. That negative outlook was primarily based on many reviews that I had seen other people do in the past. Between the reviews that I'd seen in the past as well as the design itself, I wasn't really too sure how it was going to work. Let's back up a bit and start from the beginning though. I've been testing different EDC belts for years, just trying to find something that's going to fit me for all of my personal situations. I need something durable and easy to use that will hold up not just my pants, but my gun as well. Of course, I've seen these belts while I've been on the hunt for the perfect EDC belt. Everybody's seen them. You damn near have to be living under a rock to have not heard about these belts to have this, clicking, ratchety type system to lock them in place. The thing is though, when I started looking into these belts, the main thing that people were highlighting in their videos was the buckle. The buckles are somewhat wide because of the locking mechanism that this belt uses. And so it seems like it's going to be a serious issue when it comes to printing while conceal carrying. I have probably watched close to a dozen videos where that was the main complaint that different reviewers have had, was that their guns printed while using this belt, primarily because of the buckle. A lot of these reviewers said that the only way to really get around this was to rotate the buckle to the side of your pants instead of wearing it into the front, or offset at whatever 3 o'clock position or whatever. So at that point I put this belt on my no-go list and I continued searching for the perfect EDC belt. And as you can see, this is a small handful of my collection. I have several more. I've given them away to friends and family. My son, I gave one to him a while back. I have way too many belts to count. So fast forward through however much time in between then and now, and I actually got an email directly from Core asking if I wanted to test out and review one of their EDC belts. Now, just so you guys know, I get these emails all the time about sponsorships and partnerships and wanting me to review this product or that product. Some of those are scams, some of those are legit, and honestly, out of the ones that are legitimate offers, I turn down probably 9 out of 10 that come in, just because I don't think that they're the right fit for me, for my channel, and for you guys. When I got this email from Core, I decided I really wanted to give them a chance, and what the hell, if it didn't work out, I would just add that belt to my collection with the rest of them. So yeah, that's my disclaimer. Core sent me this belt, and I genuinely thought that I would wear it out of the house a couple of times, do a review on it, and then throw it in the pile, never to be worn again, and switch back to, one of my 2 belts that I actually do wear regularly. Real quick, before we get too far into this, I want to tell you guys about these pistol organizers. Now, my gun safe right now is such a mess, you would not believe it. I am in the process of designing a whole new shelving and rack system to have built for it so that I can try to organize a little bit. But part of that, when it's done, is that these pistol organizers are going to be built in there so that I actually have something to put my pistols in and keep everything nice, neat, and organized. There's a link down below in the description. I want you guys to go check out those Benchmaster pistol organizers. You may need one for your setup at home if you find that you can't organize your stuff properly. So back to this Core belt. I don't like admitting when I'm wrong, but I will when I have to. This belt, you know what? It does print like crazy in certain situations. What I found is that I really only experience printing with it if I keep the buckle dead center, 12 o'clock, and I'm using an appendix wing style holster. If you're going to use something like this Kineflex rig by Tech, you're going to want to rotate that belt buckle off to the side one way or the other just a little bit. I don't really find myself wearing a wing style holster real often these days. I'm trying to go a lot more streamlined with my concealed carry. Most of us are just rocking a appendix carry holster these days. Something like a single holster like this G-Code Phenom, or of course the Makinetech Talon. I found that if I'm using one of these holsters, just standard appendix carry type holster, I don't have to make any adjustments to where the buckle on this belt sits. And it's, you know, these things are held in place really well by the core belt. One of the most important things about concealed carry, of course, is having that holster held securely in place. In order to keep your holster secure to your body, you've got to have a belt that is stiff and strong. It's got to be strong enough that it doesn't bend or pull or deform under the weight of your holster and your gun. If your belt has any bend or sag to it, then your gun isn't going to be in the position it needs to be in when you need your gun. Not only that, but when you do grab your gun and you go to pull it out, your holster is going to move with the gun. It's not going to be a very secure or efficient draw. All of that can be achieved by a stiff and rigid belt like this core, or any number of other belts that are on the market that are just like it. What sets the core belt apart from others, what makes it different and unique and worthy of serious consideration, is actually the buckle and adjustment system. First off, a lot of companies use the Cobra style belt buckles. I have one of those right here, and this guy has been my go-to belt for, I don't know, probably close to 3 years now. This one is made by Blue Alpha Gear. This is their EDC belt, and it is very popular. A lot of people use this belt. It's comfortable, it holds my gun in place, it holds my pants up. This belt would be the perfect EDC belt if not for this Cobra belt buckle. The Cobra buckles, they're great, they're secure. The problem is that they barely fit through the loops of your pants. You have to fight it the entire way to thread this thing onto your pants. Once it's on there, if I'm using an appendix holster, it's okay. But if I want to use something like my G-code outside the waistband holster, where I actually have to thread that through the belt, yeah, that's a no-go. If I want to use that holster, well, then I have to use this right here. This is my Alien Gear leather belt. This one has a layer of spring steel in between the layers of leather. It helps it stay, you know, pretty stiff. This one's great. I can use this with that outside the waistband holster. The problem here is that the adjustments here are too far apart, basically. I don't have micro adjustments to be able to make with this belt. So these are some of the issues that I've been coming across while trying to find the perfect EDC belt. You know, it's a real like Goldilocks type situation. You know, this belt is too this belt is not enough that. This belt I can't put on to my normal pants because the buckle won't go through. This one I'm either too fat or too skinny for. This one's not comfortable at all. So this core belt, it is very similar to any standard leather belt as far as being able to quickly and easily thread it onto any pair of pants that I own. I can attach my outside the waistband holster while wearing this belt without any additional BS or anything. When I get it around and I want to tighten the belt, it's as easy as just pushing it through till it clicks and is comfortable. If it's a little bit too tight, it's no problem. It's got a lever down here I can press and back it out a little bit. That's the huge advantage to the core belt, is how the buckle interacts with these teeth in here that give you those, I don't know, micro adjustments for just the right fit with this belt. All right, I'm going to apologize for these camera angles now. I don't know how well this is going to work, but I'm going to do my best here. So on the bottom side of the buckle, you have this release button. And when you pull up on it, it allows you to unlock the ratchet system and let the belt out. Now when you want to tighten your belt, you just push in on it. Super simple, right? When you press up this way, it releases and you can pull it out. Otherwise, the belt is locked in place. It's secure. It's not going anywhere. If you need to make a quick adjustment, you just press it in and it's a little bit tighter. Another notch, a little bit tighter. If that's too tight, just pull up and let it out a little bit. Super easy. These are the teeth that the buckle locks into. I think the one thing that would make this system a little bit stronger, and it doesn't really need to be stronger, as it stands it's really secure, but the one thing that could make it a little bit stronger is if these teeth right here were made out of some sort of metal. Right now they're made out of plastic, and I've really tried my best to get some of these to break, and I haven't been able to do it so far. All right, let's take a closer look at this buckle. This was the lowest profile option that they had. There are some where the buckle piece itself is a little bit longer, and I was worried that those would be a little bit more of an issue when it came to the possibility of printing. But this one so far is working out really well for me. This, of course, is the release to let out on the buckle. It's got a little tooth here that interacts with the other side of the belt and makes that little ratchety sound. When you get yours in the mail, the belt is actually going to be pretty long and unfinished. You're going to have to cut it to length, basically. Figure out how long you need it, cut it, melt the ends a little bit so it doesn't fray. You have 2 set screws right here that'll go ahead and hold it in place, and then this tab right here has some teeth on the bottom that jam down in there. This buckle is extremely secure. It's not going anywhere. With the teeth from this piece digging down into it, as well as these 2 set screws, there is no way that this buckle is coming off of here. So there's a ton of options over on the Core site as far as buckles and belts go. You've got different patterns, different colors, different materials. There's probably, I don't know, 15 or more different buckles on the site. Some of those buckles that they offer are more compact than others. There's really a ton to choose from. Core makes these things out of nylon. There's also some leather options. If you're kind of a dress pants type guy and you need a more traditional leather looking belt. I was on their site the other day and I noticed they've got a black multicam. I didn't notice that they had that when I ordered this thing. I'm gonna have to go on there and order that black multicam, of course. They even have a battle belt set up on there that I'm eyeballing. I'm gonna have to put some serious consideration into that because I'd like to test that out as well. So I've been wearing this EDC belt for, I don't know, just over a month now. I can tell you that I was convinced of the value in the Core EDC belt the very first time that I left the house with it. Literally within, I don't know, an hour of leaving the house while wearing this belt, my mind was made up. You ever get part of the way into your day and just need a slight belt adjustment? You gotta tighten it, you gotta loosen it, you gotta open it up all the way to tuck your shirt in, or I don't know, go to the bathroom. Afterwards, you gotta get just the right tightness out of your belt to proceed with your day. Maybe your belt fit is just right, but then when you go to put your holster in your pants, well, now all of a sudden you've got to let it out a little bit, but you know, you're in between sizes at that point. Then you've got to struggle between either your belt is too tight or too loose. But because of the design of your belt, you can't quite get just the right adjustment out of it. All of that ceases to be an issue with these Core belts and their micro adjustments. Every click on that belt, I believe, is a 1/4 inch adjustment, and you have several inches worth of those built into this belt. That means you can really dial it in for just the right fit. It is quick, it's easy, it's hassle-free, and there isn't anything else on the market that I've been able to find that matches what you're getting out of these Core belts. So far, Core's EDC belt has been the perfect fit for my daily life. I can only beat it up and test it so fast. I can't really speed that process up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep wearing this Core belt, and I will come back, I don't know, maybe 6 months from now or a year from now and do a follow-up on this belt. I can tell you this much though, at this point, I think that it is well built enough that it's going to last me a long time. I think I'm going to be able to give this thing a lot of abuse without having to worry about replacing it or, you know, buying something else. All right, guys, I'm going to leave some links down below to those Core belts. If you want to go check them out, definitely do that. I think if you buy one, you're going to try it out, you're going to be happy with it, and you're going to be really glad that you made that purchase. That's going to be it today, folks. Thank you for watching. I'll see you back here real soon.